G'day, welcome back. So today we're going to be changing the oxygen sensor in our 1994 Audi 80. We're going to change it, routine maintenance. I can guarantee it's the original one that's in the car, so it's 25 years old. So it's probably past its best, seen better days, might not be working at all. But before we change it, we're going to test it. We're going to test it with a multimeter. Just point out, this video is not about how an oxygen sensor works. This is going to be testing it, replacing it, testing it again. If you want to see how one works, I'll put a link to a video of someone down below and we'll go from there. And now, of course, this Audi 80, it doesn't have modern fuel injection. It has mechanical fuel injection, Bosch KE3 Jetronic. So it probably works a little bit differently to how you're used to. So what does an oxygen sensor do in K-Jet fuel injection? Well, the oxygen sensor itself functions like an oxygen sensor. It creates a voltage between kind of 0.1 and 0.9 volts, depending on the amount of oxygen that's in the exhaust. Lower readings, so kind of 100 millivolts ish, would be a very lean running engine. 800, 900 millivolts would be a very rich running engine, and the fuel injection has to compensate by putting in extra fuel or taking out extra fuel. Now in Jetronic, it does that by duty cycling the control pressure actuator, which is a little valve that sits on the side of the fuel metering head. And if it's running rich, it takes fuel away. If it's running lean, it adds fuel, and that combines with your air plate and whatever else determines how much fuel the engine gets. We'll do some more videos about K-Jet at some point, but so that's roughly how it works. It adds fuel, takes fuel away depending on exhaust, which is kind of what an oxygen sensor does in fuel injection. So there we go. So let's get on to our testing. Right, here's our new oxygen sensor. See, it's a 3-wire sensor. We got a heater, these 2 wires here, plus the signal wire here. We've got our voltmeter on a low voltage range. We're earthed on that earth, and we're tapped into the signal wire over there. So we'll start the engine and see what kind of reading we get on here. It should fluctuate. If it pegs high or low, then we're either running too rich, too lean, or got a faulty sensor. So let's look into it. Right, so what do you make of that? Clearly it's not right. Something is wrong there. For a start, why are we getting voltages greater than 1 volt? That shouldn't happen. And then as you see, 5 minutes into it, we just kind of gradually getting peg lean. So something's wrong, which could be any number of things. Well, we got an engine fault, meaning that we're running really lean, or our oxygen sensor's not working. So what we're going to do to diagnose that, well, I'm pretty happy the engine's running well. There's no vacuum leaks, there's no anything else. Ignition system's up to scratch. So we're going to swap it out and test again, and pretty sure it's going to be a faulty O2 sensor. Right, so there we go. As you can see, that new oxygen sensor works perfectly. It's switching rich to lean nice and quickly. Voltage looks about right. I'm happy with that. Suggests the engine's running fine. Our fueling's where it should be now. That's awesome. You can see the old one clearly not doing what it should. In fact, here it is. It's a genuine Audi one, and there's a manufacture date of week 36 1992, so it's 26 years old. You know, most things are worn out by the time they get to age 26. I know I was. So yeah, it should make a big difference. Was I having any problems with the car beforehand? Well, there were kind of 3 things I had been noticing with the car. One, fuel economy was not what I thought it should be, based on having driven lots of these cars. I was getting about 28 miles to the gallon, which is pretty poor. For the kind of driving I've been doing in this car, I'd expect kind of 37 to 40 miles per gallon. I'm just kind of cruising 55, 60 miles an hour down the motorway to work at 5 in the morning. It should be pretty optimal. 2, engine performance seemed to be a little bit sluggish, not as snappy as it should be. And 3, more recently I've been getting a bit of a hot start problem, which you can see in the first part, well, with the old oxygen sensor, how it's kind of bogging and crapping out and whatever. And if you relate that to those O2 readings, we've kind of got some really strange things going on there. I don't know if that's going to fix that problem, but certainly that's something I noticed and something that wasn't present once we swapped the O2 sensor. So in a future video we're going to do a road test. We're going to see how that pans out, see how much nicer it is to drive, if it's made a difference at all. But yeah, certainly based on the the numbers we've seen, based on how it started second time round, things are looking good. So there we go. If you've got a 26-year-old oxygen sensor, give it a change. If you've got an oxygen sensor you want to test for a multimeter, that's how I did it. Pretty easy. And yeah, there we go. Comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you at the next one. Cheers.